points on the lesson. Live in the hills, but I still get a spread. Started with a little, but I still reinvest it. Fear how I feel, then you feel like a blessing. I just want the lesson, I just want protection. I'm up and I'm down, but they sound like progression. Farmer never plans if he waits for perfection. Finger to the down.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got your watch list coming in November 1st, 2021, and the stock market is going to go crazy. We got Powell this week, and we are going to find out about tapering. Depending on how that plays out, it is really going to set us up for the end of the year. We are either going to get a lot of volatility, maybe a taper tantrum, or it's going to green light it for a ultimate Santa Claus end of the year rally. So I hope you're ready. But on top of that, I also got 3 stocks that I'm really just going to be watching all week, and that's because we still got earnings. We got a lot of economic data, and even what we saw on Friday, there was a lot of momentum, and I have a lot of trades too. There's a lot I'm looking at. So we got a lot of open plays. There's going to be a lot of things this week. It should be exciting, and it does have a lot of implications, not only for this week, but the rest of the year. So let us not delay. You guys know what you need to do. Drop your thumbs up on the video. Make sure you're subscribed, and if you don't know, we are live Monday through Friday, 30 minutes for open. It's the first link in the description, and it's been in the comments. We better see you there in the morning. It's free 99. It costs you nothing to join. YouTube.com/the-stock-market. You can post the trade, see the trades, watch the watch list come to life, and yes. If you realize that trick-or-treating is an opportunity to ask homeowners if they want to sell their house so you could get into real estate, then yeah, we're the place to be. And the most important thing you need to do, post your watch below. Let us know what you're looking at. Got any plays, comments, remixes, anything. Post them below and source that info. Shout out to Chad, baby. And please do not forget, today is Sunday, tomorrow is Monday, and today is also Halloween. I actually kind of forgot that. But this is the random account generator. We started this account about a year and a half ago with $500. And what we ask on this watch list is that you post a random option trade, strike price, expiration date, all of that below $100. And we are going to do a random comment picker and then see what happens. But Chad, it is coming back up again. We've been doing good. Let's go. Keep it up and thank you. But right off the bat, this week you are going to get Powell on Wednesday. It is very important. He is going to, or he's expected to, announce the tapering, and then it's probably going to start in December. So this is still just the announcement, but they're going to talk about the pace of the tapering, the timing, the composition, how much they're going to do, the treasuries, and then the mortgage bonds. They already kind of outline that plan, and as we get into it, we got all the details. We're really going to be watching closely. This is a live Fed meeting, so it's going to be very important. But now the key is what they do not say. So they're going to talk about this tapering. They're going to bring up all of these factors. They're going to try to ease us in there. But the thing you got to watch for is if they have any calendar-based language and then anything related to rate hikes. Pretty much if they say anything with a specific date, like, okay, we're going to raise rates after the tapering by this, it would probably lead to a negative market reaction, but most people are expecting that it's going to be open-ended to give them the flexibility. So it's going to have a lot of importance. It is going to be very important, but I even said this here a little bit below, but arguably the ECB this week may be more important. They are also going to be announcing what they're going to do with rates, and now here's your first pretty picture. What this is showing you is all of the central banks that have policy decisions this week, and you'll notice the short end of their bonds, all of them have been skyrocketing. So even last week, there was a lot of activity with the UK, if you guys were watching, and it has to do with inflation and all of that. So a lot of people are going to be watching these other countries, and there's pretty much going to be a lot to react to as far as inflation and global inflation this week. And now that's why I'm saying what we're going to get for Powell, it's going to be very important and could lead to the end of the year. Don't forget what you saw on Friday. You got a lot of rally out of the big caps, and this chart right here is even showing Microsoft above Apple. Remember, Apple and Amazon, their earnings weren't too hot. They dropped a little, but the market was still able to hit another high. And that's why, depending on what we get from Powell this week, it's probably going to greenlight us for a rally at the end of the year, or it could bring us down. So there is a couple of other things this week, but I'll even tell you now, I didn't write this here, but my Fed prediction, or what I'm expecting that's going to happen, I think that the Fed is going to trade like earnings a little bit. I think we're going to get a little bit of a move leading into Wednesday. Then you're going to get the FOMC. Then there'll be another market reaction. But then I think the digestion, this 1 to 3 day and then a bigger move like you saw with Google and Microsoft, I think that's what we're going to see with the market as we start to absorb all this new information. But at the same time, there's still a lot of other things in the market. It's related to what Powell is going to say, the economy and all that, but you're going to get the ISM, the ADP private payrolls, the trade balance, and then the jobs report on Friday. That is going to be the most key. And like I said here, you're going to hear from the ECB, and it could be more notable than the Fed. And then finally, you still got earnings. So even though the big dogs are out of the way, you're going to hear from Uber, Airbnb, Pinterest, Peloton, Myrna, Pfizer, and just companies like this, big names that you know of. They're not the mega caps, but for the next week or so, there's still going to be a lot of these plays. So especially when we get into the plays, these are going to give us a good focus, and you guys have been watching the strategy. So coming into the company news and events now, one thing, this came over the weekend. Biden signed an executive order at the G20, but it's related to supply chains. The order is going to allow the release of materials from the strategic stockpiles. It's even like putting the Department of Defense in charge of like doing something with it, and then it's increasing funding to Mexico and Central America to alleviate any bottlenecks. So we're going to see the reaction to this, and again, a lot of the infrastructure stuff, all of that, a lot of the news this week, there's a lot of different things, but that was a hot topic that we got last week, and it had a pretty interesting whipsaw effect on some names, so keep your eye out for that. Then coming into energy, this one we're going to watch it tomorrow, but the U.S. is now talking to other energy consuming nations. They like kind of ganged up, and they're trying to now push OPEC to increase output. This is even part of the supply chain stuff. They're saying the oil stuff is very key. You are going to get an OPEC meeting this Wednesday, and Saudi Arabia has already said they want a quote-unquote balanced market, so they don't want to really adjust anything, so keep your eye out for that. And any oil prices, then this one, we saw the stock react to this just a couple weeks ago. It was able to recover, but kind of a big deal, and it relates to inflation. But John Deere has entered a tentative labor agreement with the people on strike, and they agreed to raise wages by 10% in the first year and then 5% in the third and fifth year. You'd be like, wait, why does this matter? It did move the stock last week or a couple weeks ago, but now this is speaking on inflation. This is a very big company. They employ a lot of people. It's very important, especially in the manufacturing side, and what they're willing to pay in the future for workers. I mean, this says a lot for not only margins to one end, but where companies are expecting inflation and all of that to go. So that was important. I thought it was. And then from the FDA, Myrna actually said that the FDA needs more time to assess the vaccine for teens. So they're going to report this week as well. So we're also going to be getting some numbers for there that investors are looking for. And then this over the weekend, American Airlines, they canceled over 1,000 flights due to weather. It was like 12% of their capacity. So a lot of them have been struggling. You remember Southwest with that. I don't think it was a similar issue there. Seems like a different situation, but they also all had their earnings, so keep your eye out for them. And then Elon, he got into a tweet with like somebody from the UN, and he said he will sell his Tesla stock if they could prove that he could solve world hunger or some hunger with $6 billion. So that was interesting. Probably not going to affect Tesla stock. And again, Tesla is in the $1 trillion club, went crazy on Friday. Then there was another deal with the US, with the UK, and this is on the steel tariff. So watch them tomorrow. I don't know how it's going to have an effect. I guess they made one agreement, and they're even looking to make a coalition for steel in between like Japan and Australia too. So we will watch how this one plays out, but I'm definitely going to be watching commodities tomorrow. Then during the G20, there was a kind of a climate agreement. It was kind of like the Paris Accord. I say kind of because it's pretty much a different name and all of that, but they agreed to stuff. So watch out for some of those stocks. You did see a little bit of a rally, any environment ESG names. And then Coke announced that they're going to be buying body armor, man. Shout out to Kobe. But they're going to buy it out for $5.6 billion. And then finally, October was the biggest month for domestic movie theaters, setting a pandemic record. So on Friday, there was that little move there with AMC and like some of their earnings estimates. So I would just keep an eye out for that, even like Disney and Viacom as well too. But this is our holiday. We know what to expect. It's going to be all about Powell. Thankfully, we still got earnings, and we got a lot more trades on the way. So I hope you're ready. But that is pretty much it. So let us get into the plays. So right off the bat, I got 3 different plays that I'm looking at. And like I said at the beginning of the video here, these are actually even just more for the rest of this week. So it's not only just a one-day type of thing, but I have been making a lot of those day trades, or at least, okay, I made like 5 last week, but still. But given the logic on a lot of these plays, there's going to be a lot of time. You could play some of the earnings before and after. Some are related to some of the other trends that we got, and then just paying attention to everything else. And I'm sure by the time we get Powell and all of that by Wednesday, Thursday, there's also going to be a lot of stuff that's going to develop. So the first play, I really, really like this one. I always have, but I'm going to look at it tomorrow. I know they got their earnings coming up, but in general, I think this play could even go well beyond this week. But Roblox, and why I like it, you could have potential for that earnings run up. That's what I'm going to be looking for tomorrow. But now Meta, the Meta ETF, the whole Facebook Meta thing, it got a ton of demand over the last 2 days. There was a Metaverse ETF created prior to Facebook making that announcement, and it really just surged after that. And then now, looking into that one, they actually hold a couple of other companies like Nvidia, but then one of them is Roblox, and that ETF is actually comprised more of Roblox than even Facebook itself. So they may do some rebalancing, but in general, Roblox is that Metaverse play. If that hype continues, I mean, Facebook did get to go like 2 or 3% on Friday. I think Roblox is a very, very big winner in that space. So gonna look for those plays, gonna look for earnings run up. We have our shares still, but I do not have any other options. And I don't know if I'm gonna force this play, because essentially if the options do get too expensive and it does go crazy, I'm just gonna sell covered calls. So that is gonna be the first play. Then the second play, you guys know these ones, we like them, Airbnb and Uber. You could even look at any of the other earnings as well too. Remember, you still have earnings. You guys have seen that strategy. Be careful, and this kind of highlights it. We did these ones a little early. I have plays on both of these, and both of them are down. So it's like a gift and a curse kind of at this degree, because now that means that the premiums are cheap, and it's either going to stay like that, or the day of it'll probably have that pop there. So I'm going to look for both of these. Again, looking for the pre-earnings run-up play, and then both of them, depending on what they report, it could really lead to a lot of moves. Again, Uber, they kind of guided up, so they could move a lot. And then Airbnb, I believe it is expected to do good. So expectations may be a little bit higher, but I like both of those. Going to be watching them. As far as the plays, here was the Airbnb. No, this is the leap. So I still have these leaps. Going to be riding these into earnings. This is just because part of the long term and how much I like Airbnb. But then these are the ones that we got the other day. These ones are actually down 9%. I thought they were down a little bit more, but they ended up coming up there at close. They did get battered there a little bit, but this is the pre-earnings run-up play. It's a November 19th, 185 call. I grabbed 5 of them, down 9%, so using these as a place marker. But then these are the ones that I'm looking to sell coming into earnings, or if we could get a free play like the Apple, I might go with that, but I have been taking the profits a lot lately. And then here are the Ubers. We got these a couple of weeks ago, so these ones were a little bit earlier. They did go up, but now they're still down 34%, so at least I know where the premiums are at with this one, but going to be watching Uber coming into that. But that is the second play. And then finally, Lucid. There's, I guess, a runner-up could even be Bach. There was a couple of hype plays that we saw over the week, but Lucid, especially with Tesla, there was a lot of that hype, but there was a lot of premium in the options. I really couldn't find myself to make a play on it. So if it does stay crazy this week, I think it could be important. They're probably going to be releasing some of those delivery numbers that has been really hyping things up. So going to keep my eye on it. I'm not really too sold just yet, but anything could happen. I think it could even lean to a quicker trade, but we still do got a lot of trades. So those are going to be the main trades. As far as everything else, I'm going to be keeping my eye on Tesla tomorrow. They were interesting. Even CRM, they announced that deal with Redfin over the weekend, but they haven't reported yet, and they've kind of been one of these silent runners. And just in general, I am just going to watch the big tech that has been doing good post earnings, especially Microsoft. They're bigger than Apple now, but I have noticed with some of these plays, even the day trades, I mean, there's just a lot of opportunity with some of these big names, so I'm going to be watching them. Nvidia, a lot of people are even talking about the next $1 trillion company. Nvidia would have to go up 60%, but they're getting a lot of hype, and they still haven't reported. Unfortunately, we sold out of that play last week, but we like the profits, so watch out for them. And then Overstock, they're killing it off their earnings. They've been up a lot. I am going to look at this one to trade this week if it could continue that momentum and then even get towards those $100 levels. That stock could go crazy. And then Bach, this is one of those runner-ups there. The options were crazy on Friday, but then it really ran. So this is a crypto name, and they also got that MasterCard news a couple of weeks ago, but watch out for them. Then watch out for Ford. We still have these plays, and I actually really like Ford and AMD. I'll go over these trades right now. And then we're also going to be watching LYV and LVS. I made trades on these. I got clapped on the LVSs, but the LYV, they still have earnings, so we'll see. But then these are the trades we made on Friday. That Las Vegas Sands, I played the news related to Steve Cohen doing like a casino or stadium deal. It had a quick pop and drop. These plays are actually down 40% now, I believe, right now. Yes, 40%. Then the LYVs, those actually went up, but that was the trade that I made before that, and they announced some like NFT ticket news, but in general, they also haven't reported. They're going to report this week, so I figured I could get a double whammy there, and that one ended up holding up. Then we flipped out of the AMCs. We sold out of that Tesla that we had at a profit Q scaler, and then AMD, I did average down on these. Again, I believe I got a different contract, and I paid a little bit more, but remember, we had that first set there, and I'm really going to watch them, especially if Nvidia does well this week. I think AMD has a good fighting chance. The average down is down 15%, but we got those November 150s. That was like the day after earnings. Those are down 53%, down 15% on these, so $142 total, but I'm just going to wait for this one to kick up. Again, they had good earnings. If we do get positive momentum, I think they'll be good, so going to be watching those names. Then I'm going to watch AMC to just see how that theater news plays out. Again, they had that news on their guidance there, and I think their earnings, I mean, if it does reflect a good movie theater stuff, I mean, or anything of that rumor we saw on Friday, it was like an estimated 700 something in sales, so we'll see how that one plays out, but watch them. And then Afira, I got these 100 shares. This was like a buyout takeover rumor, but they've been holding up and just being independent from the market, so I just keep my eye out for that one. And then Coinbase, crypto held up this weekend. I want to see how it plays out. I believe their earnings is this week or next week, but either way, they've been getting a lot of momentum lately, and they've been following the crypto trends. And then Uber for earnings, selling off now, but we'll see for that day of pop. And then finally, TLT and the dollar. It's going to be all about Powell here, and right now, like we've been talking about from the beginning of the video, that was the short end of the curve. As the short end has been rising, the long end, TLT going up, that means the long end is going down, but there's a lot of volatility. You could see it. Now, this is why UK is going to be important this week. That's what's caused a lot of the volatility. Go look at a chart of the euro. You'll notice a weird 1-2 move, and then come look at the dollar, and then you're seeing some of this volatility all of this week in the moves in the bonds and dollars. It's going to be about what the central bankers do. So, like I said, look for that earnings move. There's going to be an anticipation, a pre-move, then there'll be a reaction the day of, and then the real key is going to be the continuation and follow-up. So keep your eyes peeled, and I hope you're ready. But that is your watch list, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure hydrate healthy, ready to go. Make sure post your watch list. Make sure we see you there in the morning. I need the armor on. I need the helmet shine. I need you to not despise the day of small beginnings, baby. But the Cole loves you. I love you, and we'll see you in the morning. Let's go.